And we are live. All right. Second stream for the best ball draft today. We'll keep the doctor way. Today we're going to be talking a lot of best ball strategy. We're going to be talking milli maker strategy. The way that I think through these drafts in order to get those spike weeks in the playoffs, to get us in the top percentage of teams and give us a chance, give us the best chance to win that million. Actually, 2 million for first place. So obviously, we don't expect to win, but we hope to win. So we're just going to keep drafting these teams to see if we can give ourselves the best chance possible to take home the money. Let's get right into it then. Hopefully, you guys can all see my screen. Chalk made fun of me yesterday because I didn't have dark mode on. So I was blinding all of you stream viewers. So I'm sorry for that. We turned on the dark mode. Hopefully this looks a lot better. But let's just jump straight into it. How does that sound to you all? Hopefully it sounds good. And we're going to be entering another best ball draft today. Notifications for important updates on the status of this draft. Not right now. Okay. How many positions are filled? We're waiting on 8 people. Okay, so while we're waiting for this draft to get started, I'll kind of talk through like my pre-draft process. Basically, like I don't go in with any preconceived notions. I kind of just like let the draft fall to me. So based off of wherever we get put into a draft slot, our strategy should start forming in our heads for how we're going to want to navigate the draft. So for example, if we're near the beginning, we're going to want to get one of those studs. We're going to want to get JT, Christian McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, those guys. And the second, if we take one of those running backs, depending on who falls at the end of the second round, early third round, we're going to want to either kind of craft a hero RB team, or we're going to want to start going for that extremely spiky, hyper-correlated week 17. Let's say we take Cooper Kupp. Depending on who falls, the Rams play the Chargers at home in week 17. So like an ideal scenario is you take Cooper Kupp at the beginning of your draft, and then on the come around, you can maybe even get both of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and then pray that Justin Herbert falls to you in the fourth, something along those lines. Basically, we want to be like looking at who's playing who in week 17 because that's where all the money is. If we get eliminated before then it's no good for us. But we just want to give ourselves the best possible chance to win in week 17. So yeah, we are waiting on 3 more people to fill for this draft. Thank you all for tuning into the show. This will be my second time on a live stream. It was pretty unnerving the first time, so I kind of like veered away from the way that I actually go about my draft process. But I'm going to try to be better today. We're going to be bouncing both in between our draft screen as well as our model output. So I like to use my model output as a guide for how we should be thinking about the choices between each of the players. I have opinions on all of the players, and I like to use the model just like a gut check, kind of a tiebreaker from between 2 guys. Again, I'll reiterate this again. I talked about it a little bit yesterday, but the 1 column is the column that we want to be focusing on. I'll bold it all for you guys just so you guys can see it a little bit better. But this is basically telling us the probability that a player is – the formatting got fucked up there. The 1 represents the probability that a player reaches 15 points per game during the 2022 fantasy season. I'm going to hopefully post – well, I will post my actual process on building the model on Twitter. I'm still working out some kinks. This is like version 6. It's taken a few different iterations to actually get it to a good finalized version. I always keep thinking of new things I want to add to the model, and then the accuracy or in our case, the log loss improves slightly. And whenever we're improving the actual prediction power of the model, that's always going to be good for us. So we've done a lot of standardization, a lot of different standardization for the actual build of the model. So this is, in my opinion, a pretty good balance between an overfit and an underfit model. Looks like the draft is about to get kicked off, though, so I'm going to pivot, go into the draft, see where our draft spot is going to land on. Never mind, we're waiting for two people now. So I guess someone left. Oh, okay, we have a draft spot. We are in the 106. So out of the 106, if none of the top 5 guys fall to us, then I'm going to be taking Austin Ekeler here. I started my draft last night with Austin Ekeler, and I was loving it. So I think I'm going to try and do that again. Austin Ekeler in the first round, he's going to be a part of a super high-powered offense in LA. He should be a part of a shootout in Week 17 as well. The Chargers play the Rams in a dome, so I don't think you can really ask for better conditions for a high-scoring, high-flying Week 17, our championship week. Obviously, in order to get there, you got to play the rest of the season, and the Chargers play the AFC West and the NFC West. All of those games should be very, very high-powered. I'm super excited to watch the Chargers this season. They weren't able to make the playoffs last year because I don't know what was his name, Brandon Staley was thinking last year in Week 18. All they could have done was just taken a knee, just like run out the game, like not call a timeout at the end. Like Derek Carr was even saying like, oh, we were fine ending the season with a tie, and both the Chargers and the Raiders, both of us make the playoffs. Brandon Staley calls that timeout, and Derek Carr says, all right, fuck this. We're going to beat these guys. And that's exactly what they did. And they weren't able to make the playoffs. Okay. So the top 5 guys got taken chalk. So we will draft Austin Ekeler just as we had planned. And okay, this is looking good so far. Perfectly happy with the start. It's very, very chalk right now. So I'm excited to see what falls to us in the second round. So we have 2 options for where we're going to go here. Part of like this Millie Maker strategy, we want to basically just maximize the value that we're getting on our team. A lot of people like to complicate it and go like very deep into, oh, if you stack this guy with this guy, then like he's going to get you like a slightly more competitive edge. Like I don't really listen to too many of those like very nitty gritty, like super galaxy brain sort of things. I just draft good players. A good tiebreaker or like a good way to just like guide your overall draft strategy is to maybe think about that Week 17 correlation, just the stacking of some of the different players. But we're really focusing on just scoring the most fantasy points throughout the entire season. And the way that you do that is just draft studs at every single position. Forgot to mention this at the beginning of the live stream, but I hope you guys all stick with me until the end of this draft. At the end of the draft, I'm going to be announcing a giveaway. So stick with me until then. Hopefully you can bear with me and stay with me as we're going through this draft. I know that these typically take about 45 minutes, so maybe you guys don't have all the time in the world like I do, but I'm excited to share this giveaway with you all and win you guys some prizes. So I hope you guys are excited as I am. But let's just jump right back into the draft and talk more best ball strategy. So right now, let's see what we have. Okay, Dalvin Cook, Najee Harris. We have 3 guys that fall. I would be super ecstatic if Aaron Jones again fell like he did yesterday. Whoa. Huh? Oh, this is moving. I didn't even realize that. Ash, hey, come on. Sorry, that was my dog Ash. I'll bring her onto one of these streams in a little bit. She's pretty cute. DeAndre Swift. Okay, if Aaron Jones falls here, I think I go Aaron Jones. Yeah, I think if Aaron Jones falls here, I can't pass him up at 19. I talked about Aaron Jones a little bit yesterday. Aaron Jones, a very real potential as finishing as the RB1. He's a very talented player. He has finished as RB2 before. Looks like he timed out, so he's going to take Aaron Jones. Okay. Aaron Jones got taken. I think I'm just going to take a stud in Debo Samuel. I don't know why, but people have been a little bit down on Debo Samuel this season. He was an absolute stud last year, and like there was a little bit of talks about like, oh, Debo Samuel, he's holding out. He wants to get traded. He doesn't want to get used like a running back anymore. Which like it's all fair, like it's valid. It's I don't buy it though. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Debo Samuel, like we saw what he was doing during their playoff loss. Like he was on the sidelines, like bawling his eyes out because like he just loves the game of football. He's a gritty football player and he does what it takes to win. So I know he's a hardworking guy. He's going to be, if he stays healthy, he's going to be an elite fantasy asset again. The fact that I can get him back here in the back half of the second round, I'll be all over that every single day. It would be even better if, because we've drafted Debo Samuel, we want to be focusing on that Week 17 matchup. The 49ers are playing the Raiders, and they're playing in Las Vegas. So they're going to be playing in a dome. That's, again, incredible situation for an absolute shootout to be occurring. And like I said, in these milli makers, you have to be targeting the week where you win the million, and that is Week 17. So let me focus on the draft real quick. So I think if Keenan Allen falls here, I got to take Keenan Allen. We already got Austin Eckler. I know there's not a ton of correlation between running back, receiver, quarterback. Quarterback, receiver is definitely the most. Damn, Michael Pittman, 26th overall. Keenan Allen got taken. Okay. If he continues to slip, this is a tough spot. Okay. Nick Chubb plays Washington Week 17. Nick Chubb is just your running back. Like he got taken. Okay. DJ Moore. All right, I'm going to go. We're going to be targeting George Kittle. Let's grab DJ Moore. He's been rising a little bit in terms of ADP, but I can get a really, really easy stack with DJ Moore and Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield probably goes in like round 17. So I can get a pretty elite stack there. I think Baker is a lot better than people give him credit for. He came out of I talked about a little bit about Baker Mayfield on my podcast last night with Will Keyes and Jared Perlman. You can find us at the Unending Rebuild. You can find us on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. But we like to just talk like dynasty. We talk about some news and notes. We talked about Baker Mayfield yesterday. And I was kind of saying like Baker Mayfield, when he first came into the league, like he was being drafted in his second season in like the 4th, 5th round of redraft single quarterback leagues because of his performance in his rookie season. He came in and he just absolutely lit the league on fire. People thought that the Browns had their next franchise quarterback. Like they finally broke the curse. And turns out they did break the curse. Baker Mayfield, he won the Browns their first playoff game in I don't know how many years. And then he plays last season with a torn rotator cuff, broken bones, torn limbs. Like he was literally a broken human being and still goes out there every single week and takes hits. And he was a trooper last season. And the fact that Cleveland basically said like, fuck you, like Deshaun Watson is better. We're going to take him instead and basically just let you go. I think that was like a really shitty move just from like an organizational standpoint. I don't know how many teams or how many like elite players are going to be wanting to play for that sort of organization that's going to treat their players like that, especially someone who like literally gives their life, who puts their body on the line each and every day just to help win you games. I think that was a really shitty move, but I'm more than happy. A little bit more on DJ Moore. More than happy to get DJ Moore here. DJ Moore, Baker Mayfield's the best quarterback he's had in his entire career. He's literally had like, he's one of only like, I don't know how many receiving. Like he is like the most receiving yards in the league since 2019 or something, some crazy stat like that. But I've been a huge fan of DJ Moore. He's just this elite athlete, gets like 1,000 yards every single season, just doesn't score the touchdowns. And now that he's Baker Mayfield, so the quarterbacks that he's had in the past, he had what, like Kyle Allen, he had Teddy Bridgewater, he had Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield is in a league of his own compared to those guys. Do we have tight end yet? Get those down there. We don't have tight end. We have Debo, DJ Moore, Austin Eckler. I think we go Zeke here. Yeah, fuck it. I'm going Zeke. Okay. So the fact that Ezekiel Elliott falls into the 4th round, the end of the 4th round, that is just absurd to me. If you go and like look at Ezekiel Elliott's positional finishes over the past, actually his career, this dude just puts up fantasy points. Last season he was hurt. He looked like he was like an old man, like plodding around the field, didn't look super athletic or anything. And he still finished as an RB1. Super, super impressive. And he's coming back. Reports are saying that he's in the best shape of his life. He's coming back fully healthy. And that Cowboys offense should be super, super high powered. So the fact that we can get a start of Austin Eckler, Ezekiel Elliott, Debo Samuel, and DJ Moore, just all absolute studs at their position, I am ecstatic. I am praying to God that George Kittle falls to me because I have passed on all the other elite tight ends. So if George Kittle doesn't fall, maybe we'll think about Dalton Schultz, but really hoping on George Kittle here. So I talked about this a little bit yesterday in the broadcast, but George Kittle, even though he might not have the highest fantasy points per game at the tight end position, okay, George Kittle taken. So pivot again. I think because we have Austin Eckler, we want to be targeting some of that week 17 game correlation that I was talking about. That's like my number 1 game on my slate for the game that I want to target in week 17. Never mind. Okay, I was about to just say I want to take Allen Robinson. But I've been experiencing this recently, but every time I come on live broadcast, the guy that I start talking about and want to take just gets sniped immediately. It's like these guys are like watching. Well, I wish they would be watching, but whatever. Back to what we have. Back to drafting. Okay, Lamar Jackson slipping here. I don't have any correlation there though. And the Ravens play the Steelers. Damn it. Jerry Judy has slipped a little bit. I don't like this spot. I really don't like this spot. Really don't like this spot. All right, I'll take Jerry Judy. I don't love it, but Jerry Judy just fills out our 3rd wide receiver. He falls a little bit in ADP. If you don't follow Hayden Winks, I highly suggest you read through his stuff if you're trying to make some money in these best ball streets. Whenever a player falls from their ADP, they're usually a pretty good bet to get you some fantasy points. It's highly, highly not recommended to reach on players. The fact that I can get Jerry Judy in the 5th round down here, probably a good deal after Cortland Sutton got taken. I'm pretty hype about. Jerry Judy is also in the AFC West, so we love those AFC West games that we can attack for those hyper-correlated boom. And so the fact we got Jerry Judy, we can now be looking at Russell Wilson for a stack. We'll be looking at Tim Patrick later, maybe even like near the end of the draft. We'll even be looking at Albert O. And yeah, I actually love my team right now. I know Jerry Judy is probably like the most speculative player that I have right now. He's shown that he has some juice out when he's on the field. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy. His rookie season, he actually commanded a ton of targets. So really, really impressive that a rookie can come into the league and command the target share that he did. Obviously, he was catching passes from, I think, Drew Lock. So obviously, those aren't the most quality targets that he's seeing. But he was still able to put up a pretty good rookie season. He hit a lot of the metrics, a lot of the rookie numbers that you want to see from a receiver. So it's funny that people aren't a little bit more excited about him. I mean, he played last year through a high ankle sprain. He was actually killing it in the first few games, and then had that high ankle sprain and immediately just like falls off the map because obviously he was playing through it. It's really difficult to play through those high ankle sprains. I think if he falls, I'm definitely going to take Dalton Schultz here. I was talking about it a little bit, but we want to get those tight ends who can see those spike weeks. And Dak Prescott loves Dalton Schultz. He threw the ball to him 100 times last season at the tight end position. If we can get like the number one thing that we do want, okay, Dalton Schultz did fall to us. We will take Dalton Schultz here. The one thing that we do want is we want to be seeing wide receiver numbers out of the tight end position. And Dalton Schultz can give you exactly that. Dak Prescott loves him. Amari Cooper just left, so there's a ton of targets that are available. I saw in a tweet today that Jalen Tolbert is probably going to be the opposite starting receiver across from CeeDee Lamb. I expect Jalen Tolbert to get a decent amount of targets as well. But Dalton Schultz produced at a pretty high level with both CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper on the field. And I promise you, Jalen Tolbert will not be Amari Cooper in his rookie season. You can flip this. I am willing to bet some money on Jalen Tolbert not producing Amari Cooper level numbers, or even earning Amari Cooper level targets. But that's why I'm super high on Dalton Schultz this season. The Cowboys are going to throw the ball a ton. They were actually the number one offense in the league last year in terms of points scored. And they threw the ball 70% of the time. That is just great news for, damn it. Okay. I forgot. I'm so bad at this. I'm sorry, you guys. I usually go back and forth, but like, since I've like done this so many times, like I have a lot of this like burned into my memory. But maybe next stream I can do it a little bit more. But since we have decisions here. Okay, good thing we have all of the quarterbacks that are going in this range. Or we can target all of the quarterbacks that are going in this range. We can target a Dak Prescott, a Trey Lance, a Russell Wilson, and it's basically just going to be who falls to us. The fact that Josh Jacobs and AJ Dillon have fallen this far into the 7th round, way below ADP, makes me kind of want to take one of them. I think if I have a lot of Josh Jacobs already, I guess he is correlated with Debo Samuel. Okay, Josh Jacobs got taken, so it doesn't even matter. If AJ Dillon is available at my next pick, I will take AJ Dillon. Okay, so now that since we have our 3rd running back in AJ Dillon, I think we can go super hyper fragile running back build. I typically don't do that unless we're able to get 3 guys who are like super, super solid at their position. And like one thing in best ball, we don't care about getting our running backs handcuffed. Whereas in redraft, we might want to be looking to do that. And that's because in best ball, we're betting, especially in the Millie Maker, we're betting on the best possible scenario. We have one possible scenario for us to win that million. And we want to put all of our chips in that basket. We want to go all in on that one scenario. Oh, shit. Okay, all of these guys don't have quarterbacks, so I think I'm really fucked in that Trey Lance and Dak Prescott are probably both going to get taken, which really, really sucks. A quarterback run is already starting. So we might have to go and settle for Matthew Stafford and reach on him a little bit, which I think I'm okay with just to make sure that we get one of those top quarterbacks. But our top 3 guys at our next pick, we have to get a quarterback. It's going to be Trey Lance, Dak Prescott, or Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford would be a little bit of a reach at ADP. We're hoping for Trey Lance to fall to us just because he offers that like elite upside. There goes Dak Prescott. So I'm really worried Trey Lance is going to go at 8-3 for CBK. I didn't even realize that I had already taken my bring back. Oh, I guess I'm smack dab in the middle. So I'm kind of in a terrible position here, but I have a pretty terrible feeling that Trey Lance is going to get taken. Oh, I have a chance. If CBK does not take Trey Lance, I have a chance to get him because Stubby, Atlanta, Arjaz, and Chaz Reinhold all already have quarterbacks. So we cross our fingers and hope that Trey Lance falls to us. Trey Lance offers that correlation with Debo Samuel. He can get us the spike week. If Trey Lance falls to us, I will be absolutely buzzing. I got my Corona in my hand, obviously with lime. I have work this week, so I work at Capital One, and yeah, I feel like I'm on vacation. That's kind of what fantasy football can do for you. It makes you feel like I'm on vacation all the time because I'm just having fun each and every single night. That's because I love fantasy football, if you guys can't tell. But please, Trey Lance, fall to us. That would be huge. Please, please, please. Please. Don't do it. Don't do it, Chaz Reinhold. Don't do it, Chaz Reinhold. You know you don't want to. You know you don't want Trey Lance. You already have a quarterback. There's no reason. Don't auto draft. Oh my God, he's going to auto draft, isn't he? Oh, that's going to suck even more. Oh, let's go. Okay. Immediate smash on Trey Lance. That is huge. Let's go. Okay, so our team so far. Trey Lance, Austin Eckler, Ezekiel Elliott, A.J. Dillon, Debo Samuel, DJ Moore, Jerry Judy, Dalton Schultz. I'm loving it so far. This is a good team shaping up. Now we just got to start hammering wide receivers. I think our next 3 picks should all be wide receiver, just because although we do have our top 3 guys, wide receiver is the most important position to be getting those spike weeks. So is Ayuk still there? Ayuk got taken, I think. I just saw him go off the board. But who else is playing in these games? Let's see. Dallas plays Tennessee. Has Treylon Burks been taken? Oh, Robert Woods is down here too. Okay, I think if Tyler Lockett falls to us, I want Tyler Lockett. If Tyler Lockett does not fall to us, I want Robert Woods. I think Tyler Lockett is just criminally underrated. The fact that you can get him in the 9th round of your fantasy drafts is absurd to me. Every single year he's been going in the 4th round. And the fact that Russell Wilson's gone now, yeah, it does a ton in terms of his fantasy production. But I don't think it puts him down to wide receiver 47. That he's a guy that I'm trying to draft for sure. Chase Claypole is another guy. People were so high on him after his rookie year. And it doesn't make sense to me that people are now like super down on Chase Claypole just because he didn't score any touchdowns last season. I think if you look in terms of his actual targets, receptions, yards, they're all very similar to his rookie year. Just his rookie year, he scored like 13 touchdowns, and last year he scored 2. So we're going to see a little bit of that regression to the mean where he's going to be scoring maybe like 6, 7, 8, 9 touchdowns. Okay. And actually last season, in terms of like explosive play rate, okay, Tyler Lockett got taken too. That sucks, but we hope we get Chase Claypool. In terms of explosive play rate, Chase Claypool had one of the top adjusted explosive play rate out of all the receivers in the league. And the way that they calculate that explosive play rate is how many explosive plays did you generate for your team versus how many explosive plays did your team have as a whole. All right, we're going to take Chase Claypool. And Chase Claypool, like when he gets the ball in his hands, he can make some magic happen. Yeah, look at this. 109, 105, 62, 59, 873, 860, 9-2. Oh, and he had 2 rushing touchdowns his rookie year too. Yeah. Perlman and Kai's on our podcast, they were clowning me for saying Chase Claypool is a good football player. They were saying that Calvin Austin deserves more credit than Chase Claypool. Absolute blasphemy. I know like Chase Claypool like said some idiotic things on like his podcast or whatever, saying like he's the best receiver in the NFL. He's the greatest to ever do it. And like, I mean, he's extremely athletic, probably one of the most athletic guys in the NFL. A little bit premature to say that. So let's see it on the field. Let's see it do something for my team here. So obviously no correlation here. I think the Steelers play the Ravens week 17. So no real correlation there, but we're excited to get Chase Claypool this late in the 9th round. But okay, back to the draft. A lot of these running backs have been falling. It's pretty interesting because okay. Kareem Hunt's falling. I might think about I already have 3 running backs. All right, we'll see. Let me take a sip and then we'll think about it. Denver plays Kansas City. San Francisco plays Las Vegas. Dallas plays Tennessee. I really wish I got Dak Prescott. That would have been huge for our team. It's a little bit sad. We're missing out on some stacks here, guys. I don't love this team as much as I love my team from yesterday, but hey, maybe the Trey Lance pick works out. I've been seeing a lot of he's becoming another one of those polarizing players where his ADP has been rising pretty rapidly. He's going off the board as the QB9 now. Still in the 8th round. I got him in the 8th round. That's pretty good. An average ADP of 79.6, I agree, is very high. Aaron Rodgers is slipping a little bit. Oh, I don't love any of the players here. This is tough. I think if it comes down to it, I'll just take my 4th running back here and then just completely ignore the position from now on. You got to take value where value falls to you. And I think I'm going to take either Devin Singletary or Rashad Penny at this next pick. And after that, I know that I said I was going to just start hammering wide receiver, but this is one thing. Like, you have to be flexible to your draft room. You got it. Like, so in order to get like the best team possible, you got to be a little bit lucky. You need the draft room to work out exactly in your favor. I think I'm going to take Devin Singletary here just because he's part of the Buffalo offense. I want players on teams that are going to score a lot of touchdowns. That's how you see those spike weeks. Devin Singletary was a league winner last year. He scored a ton of fantasy points down the playoff stretch. The fact that I can get him in the 10th round as my 4th running back is kind of insane. But now that I have my 4 running backs, I am not touching the running back position. Typically, I don't draft 4 running backs this high. But hey, you take the value where it falls to you. And my running back room is absolutely elite. Yeah, I don't have any other way to put it. It's an elite running back room. My receiver room, though, is a little bit weak. So this is where we are now going to be pivoting. Hopefully, people just start taking running backs like crazy off the board, and that's going to let some other value fall to us. I like the idea of taking Jarvis down here. Mecole Hardman is intriguing. I don't like Mecole Hardman, but one thing in best ball is I like to have exposure to a bunch of different players that Mecole Hardman just went. So it's completely moot point at this point. But Mecole Hardman is one of those players that he has that elite athleticism, one of the fastest players in the league, and he's tied to Patrick Mahomes. So I can see a scenario where Mecole Hardman does see those spike weeks. I mean, he even saw some of those spike weeks in his year. So it's a possible. I'm not saying it's plausible, but it's definitely possible. Like, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We're in the 11th round. Okay. I think who did the Saints play? Saints play the Eagles. Detroit plays the Bears. Jarvis just went. Okay. Oops. No. Give me Jameson Williams. League winner, JMO. The hashtag lives. Yeah, Jameson Williams, he offers just elite upside. And the fact that I can get him at pick, I've gotten him in the 11th round every time I've drafted him. And that is going to be insane if he pays off at ADP, which I think he will. The fact that he gets drafted off the board at wide receiver 61 is absurd to me. There's a reason that the Lions took him at pick 12, first round pick 12 in the actual NFL draft. And that's because Jameson Williams is a game breaker. He has that game breaking speed. He did it at Alabama. He's going to do it in the NFL. He's done it against the most elite competition. He practiced against the most elite players that are going to be great in the NFL. So I have no worries about Jameson Williams coming back from his torn ACL. I've already seen plenty of videos of him working out. He was even working out with the team during minicamp. I think he's going to work off to the side probably during training camp, but that's okay. He's probably going to start the year off the pup. We don't need his production early on. We have a pretty stacked wide receiver room in terms of our first 3 wide receivers. Fingers crossed they stay healthy. But outside of that, we're just going to be just stacking wide receivers because we have our running back room sorted out. We're going to target Baker Mayfield as our second quarterback just to stack with DJ Moore. And then we might want to look at who's the Panthers tight end? Tommy Tremble? Tommy Tremble's an interesting player. He's kind of a no-name. Like, people don't really talk about him too much, but I've seen flashes from him. He does have elite athleticism, and he hasn't shown much he hasn't shown much in the NFL thus far. And a lot of that has to do with he's young. It takes a while to learn the tight end position in the NFL. Obviously, we've been spoiled by guys like Kyle Pitts because this guy just comes in, and Pat Freiermuth. They both just come in and they absolutely tear it up in their rookie seasons. So I guess the curve is shortening a little bit, but it's still difficult because you have to learn how to block. You have to learn how to run the routes. So you basically have to learn twice as much as every single other player on the offense outside of the quarterback. you have to learn how to block. You have to learn all the blocking schemes, same as the O lineman, and you have to also learn all of the route tree, same as the receivers. And so down here, because we already have one Austin Eckler, we're going to target that game a little bit more and draft one Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer is one of those guys where we could see a scenario where Mike Williams or Keenan Allen gets hurt, and Josh Palmer, he showed that he's a talented NFL receiver down the stretch last year. He was really, really good whenever he got that starting role. And by the end of the season, he did take that starting role from Jalen Guyton. So I've been drafting a ton of Josh Palmer. We want the guys in the elite offenses. That's like the name of the game here. You either want offenses or guys where they have a very easy path to consolidated targets. Last season, Amon-Ra St. Brown was the absolute number one league winner. He scored the most points in the fantasy playoffs out of any fantasy player, which is absurd. He even scored more than all the quarterbacks, which is absolutely crazy for a wide receiver. So maybe Detroit even builds the offense around Amon-Ra St. Brown even a little more until JMO comes back. So I expect Amon-Ra St. Brown to outperform his current ADP. I don't know why his ADP is as low as it is, but he's going to be a good player. The reason he was able to see those insane numbers was because DeAndre Swift was hurt. TJ Hawkinson was hurt. He was literally the only competent receiver on that offense. So Jared Goff just found him every single time. I mean, he had like 13, 14 targets a game down the stretch. Okay, we're on the clock again. Let's go even more into that game. Let's draft one Gerald Everett. I am high on Gerald Everett this season to command a decent amount of targets. I want guys in that Chargers offense. I think Herbert's going to be great this year. I was super bummed that I couldn't get him in this draft. Whatever. That's just how it rolls sometimes. I was able to get Trey Lance behind ADP. I was thinking about Trevor Lawrence for a second, but I think we're just going to focus on drafting Baker Mayfield if he falls to us. Hopefully, Robbie Anderson falls to us because he does offer that elite upside with the spike week capability because of his speed. I mean, last year, he even earned 110 targets with Sam Darnold, and he saw like the second most uncatchable targets in the league last season behind one DJ Moore. So Robbie Anderson could definitely smash at ADP. He's drafted at wide receiver 70. That is just criminal undervaluation there. So whenever we're seeing this difference in value in terms of like the actual targets that they're seeing versus where they're actually getting drafted, you can draft a guy getting 100 targets down here in the 14th round. I'm gonna do it every time. So Robbie Anderson, round 14. If he falls to us, cross our fingers. If not, we're gonna keep going wide receiver. So Marvin Jones. Oh, Robbie Anderson got taken. Marvin Jones, another guy, 120 targets last season. They brought in a ton of weapons. Like they brought in Christian Kirk, they brought in Zay Jones, they brought in I'm blanking. Who else did they bring in? Christian Kirk, Zay Jones. Maybe it's just those two guys. I feel like I'm missing on one other guy though. But yeah, they brought some guys to put some target competition on Marvin Jones. I definitely don't think Marvin Jones sees 100 targets again. He might though. He has that rapport with Trevor Lawrence. Out of any single receiver that Trevor Lawrence threw the ball to, Marvin Jones was performing the best. Marvin Jones even had like one or two spike weeks where he saw over 20 points in a fantasy week. So yeah, I like Marvin Jones as another bet this season. Is Trevor Lawrence still there? Okay, no, Trevor Lawrence got taken. I was going to say if Marvin Jones continues to fall, hopefully we can grab both of them. But okay, we'll grab Marvin Jones down here in the 14th round. Love my running back room. Jesus Christ. Okay, I got Marvin Jones. How far down is Baker Mayfield? Let me target Samuel Watkins got last year. Oh, this bummy. Badis, KJ Hamler, Jared Goff, Julio. Julio will definitely be in the conversation. All right, Baker Mayfield is at ADP 191. We're going to reach a little bit on Baker Mayfield. I don't think his ADP has completely reset. I think his ADP is going to continue to rise, especially once reports start coming out of training camp. Like, they're going to say, like, Baker Mayfield looks great in that offense. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to be the starting guy. He doesn't really have a whole lot of competition. Like, he's going to be battling with Matt Corral, rookie. It's going to take a little bit for him to learn the system. I know it's going to take Baker a little bit to learn the system as well, but Baker, like, he has all the tools to do it. He has elite weapons. He's the best arm talent in that room. I think it's actually a great mentor opportunity for Baker to teach Matt Corral, since I do see their play style as being pretty similar. But yeah, Baker Mayfield's going to continue to rise in ADP. He's at 191 right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he rises another whole round within the next 2 weeks. So actually, I'm going to continue to do this live stream. So we'll get to follow the Baker Mayfield slow rise in ADP because if one thing I've learned from oh shit, I am on the clock. Please don't do anything to me. Okay, I fucked up a bunch of times yesterday because like I was too busy talking to the stream, so I forget to actually draft players. So I'm just still finding that balance. Like I messed up today where like yesterday I was doing actually like I didn't do a good job at all, but I would continue to bounce between my model output tab and the actual draft room. Today, I didn't even do that a single time. So we're still getting better. We're still learning. Continue to improve on this. I'm hoping to put it all together. I didn't have any auto picks so far. Hopefully that stays true. But yeah, let's just jump back right into more draft strategy. I still only have one quarterback, which I don't love, but I don't hate either. I mean, we have Trey Lance. He should be getting us points most weeks. He should be leading that room. He offers that rushing upside where he has like a pretty safe floor. And they say that he has a massive arm. So hopefully he can be getting the ball to Debo. I wish I had Kittle or Ayuk as well, but fuck it. Know what I'm saying? Okay. So we're going to want to be getting a quarterback. We obviously still want Baker Mayfield. He's still sitting down there. So I think we can wait one more round on Baker Mayfield. We got Gerald Everett too, right? Yeah. Another receiver. Let's go another receiver. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna take Buddy. I'm gonna take Buddy Campbell. Paris Campbell I can't give up on him. Like this dude is just so athletic. Wide receiver 77, 15th round. I'm willing to take that lottery ticket all the way down here in the 15th round. I mean, Paris Campbell just offers you elite speed. Like this guy is so dynamic with the ball. He has just I did it again. I start talking about him. He gets sniped. That is some bullshit, but whatever. That's just how this goes sometimes. Okay, I'm going to take Julio down here. ADP 188. I'm taking him at 174. Whatevs. I don't really care. Because the second that Julio signs with a team, he is going to immediately skyrocket in value. I think Julio is going to sign with the Packers because it just makes a ton of sense. He gets to play with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers gets a real wide receiver one. I know all of you Alan Lazard truthers out there are going to come for my neck, but bring it on. Let's see who wins out this season. I'm not hating on Alan Lazard, though. I think he's a good player. He's kind of like a do-it-all kind of guy where he's gonna block for you. He's going to run good routes. He has secure hands. I just don't see the elite upside from Alan Lazard. Like, sure, maybe he gets a decent amount of targets, but I really struggle to see Alan Lazard outperforming ADP by a significant factor. And when we're drafting in best ball, especially in the Millie Maker, we want to be drafting guys who can significantly outperform their ADP. And how do they do that? It's typically the guys who are super athletic that are able to finally put it all together. The guys that can make people miss, hurdle other people, who can moss others, who can just take any single catch or carry to the house. Those are the types of guys I want. Those are the types of guys that are like Trey Lance, like Austin Eckler, Ezekiel Elliott, AJ Dillon, Devin Singletary, Debo Samuel, Jerry Judy, Chase Claypole, Jameson Williams. Don't know if Josh Palmer quite has that ability, but I guess we'll see. Marvin Jones, Julio Jones, And then tight ends are obviously just like we're getting the guys who are in elite offenses. They offer you that weekly touchdown upside, and I want the Cowboys tight end, Dalton Schultz. I want the Chargers tight end, Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett's also kind of a bit of a sleeper just because he's so insanely athletic. If you actually go to his player profile page and see just how he compares with other tight ends in the NFL, there's a reason that how many targets did he get last year? Damn, I wish I could see that right here. Is there her? Okay. Let's take our pick first before we start checking on what his target share was last year. I think if he falls, I'm going to be taking Wan'Dale with my next pick just because I am a huge fan of Wan'Dale Robinson. He's been getting a lot of hate because they're like, oh, Wan'Dale Robinson is too small. We've never seen a player as talented as Wan'Dale Robinson be that small. There's a reason that he put up 100 receptions, over 100 receptions in the SEC at Kentucky. There's a reason that Kentucky was 6-7-0 when they have typically been a pretty poor program. Fuck yeah, let's take Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale Robinson is another one of those guys that's just insanely athletic. He offers you that weekly upside where he can just really pop off. He's going to be playing the slot. I expect him to win the starting role pretty quickly. Maybe he's not on the field for 80% of snaps. Maybe he's not on the field for 70% of snaps. But I expect him to be on the field for at least 50 to 60% of the time and earning a decent target share when he is on the field. Because if there's one thing that dude knows how to do, that's earn targets. When he was at Kentucky, he earned like a 40% target share, which is just absolutely absurd. He put Will Levis in like a conversation of NFL caliber quarterbacks because he's just so good and knows how to get open every single time. If you go and look at his tape, he pops on film. He makes people miss. He somehow at 5'7" goes up and mosses other people. He's like a mini Tyreek Hill. He might not offer the same speed and explosive playmaking ability, but the same way how Tyreek Hill just like somehow just goes up over guys and just snatches the ball to the air, Wan'Dale Robinson has that same ability. So I'm super excited to see what Wan'Dale can do. The Giants play the Colts in week 17. So, oh yeah, I didn't get Paris Campbell. Whatever. Was about to talk about Paris Campbell a little bit, or talk about the correlation between Paris Campbell and Wan'Dale Robinson because they both play in week 17. Their teams play each other. So usually when one team's receivers are scoring a lot of points, that means a lot of touchdowns are being scored. And if one team is scoring a lot of touchdowns, that means the other team is probably scoring a lot of touchdowns because they got to catch up. So if you're playing catch up, you're throwing the ball a ton. No, you're not. If like one team's scoring a ton of touchdowns, you're not really like handing the ball off a ton. Please don't take Baker Mayfield. Blah. Deshaun Watson. Bet. Take the man. I don't want him. Baker. Let's go. Baker Mayfield. I don't think you'll ever hear somebody as hype as me to get Baker Mayfield down here in the 17th round. But we done did it. Not the strongest quarterback room. It's got the stacking, though. I have both my quarterbacks stacked with my 1 and 2 wide receivers. So, hey, what the hell? Fuck it, right? Fuck, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Trey Lance, Baker Mayfield. I did not get either of their tight ends. I could get the Panthers tight end. Let's see where Tommy Tremble's sitting at. Oh, yeah. Back to the Tommy Tremble talk. How many targets did he earn last year? 35, 20, 180, and 1. Oh, he had a rushing touchdown, too. Tommy Tremble was decent last year. Obviously, the stats don't really speak to the product or the performance that he had on the field. He didn't earn many targets. He didn't earn many snaps. He wasn't on the field very often. But when he did play, he kind of had a little bit of pop to his game. He has been talking a little bit about just like getting comfortable in the NFL. Apparently, he struggled mentally in terms of getting used to kind of the hype around the NFL, how fast everything moves. But we've gone hyper fragile running back build. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll just get one more receiver here just to close it out. Could get another quarterback. Trey Lance, Baker Mayfield isn't the strongest quarterback room. I think I said that. All right, fuck it. If Carson Wentz falls to me, I'll take Carson Wentz. Actually, is Daniel Jones here? I'm not going to force a stack. Sorry, Tremble. Carson Wentz. Marcus Mariota. The Falcons play the Cardinals. Do I have any Cardinals players? I don't. Do we think Kenny Pickett wins the job by the end of the year? I see a 5% chance that Kenny Pickett wins the starting job. He's projected 190 somehow. No way I get. Okay, screw it. I'll take Kenny Pickett. I've been drafting Kenny Pickett a ton in it's the 18th round. I might have just thrown away my pick. I threw away my pick last night too. I want to take Laviska Shenault, but somehow, some way, Logan Thomas found his way into my lineup when I already had George Kittle, so I don't really need 3 tight ends in that room. But whatever. Didn't love my quarterback room, so took a complete gamble on Kenny Pickett winning the starting job by the playoffs, and then maybe Kenny Pickett and Chase Claypool have that correlated upside that we're shooting for. But okay, I like my team. Don't love it. I don't think that this will be the Millie Maker, but I kind of talked through some of my strategy, talked through how I think through each of these drafts. I do love my running back room. I have not gotten a running back room as strong as this one in any Best Ball Mania draft thus far. But that concludes our stream tonight. And I promised you guys one thing, and that was I was going to do an NFL jersey to end the show. And so after the show concludes, after I go off live, I'm going to post a tweet in order to be eligible for the NFL jersey giveaway. You must follow me on Twitter at Joshua J. Hyun. It's in my tag right there. You must follow the Undroppables on Twitter, and that's at the Undroppables. It's down there on the banner below. You have to like the tweet and comment who you think that I have the highest exposure to in Best Ball Mania 3. So out of all of the drafts that I've done, I think I've done about, it says I've done 25 entries. Out of those 25 entries, which player have I drafted the most? Bonus points for those who can guess what that exposure percentage is. The winner is going to be randomly selected out of the correct entries during tomorrow night's show. So I really thank you. I thank each and every one of you that stuck with me until the very end. I'm super excited for this giveaway. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun, and I have a really good time doing these live streams, drafting, because I love fantasy football. Drafting is like the most fun part of it all. Setting lineups is stressful. So that's why I love Best Ball so much, because you just draft a team and then you watch it ride. And that's what I love to do. Just let it ride. Otherwise I tinker too much. That's my one fantasy football flaw. But other than that, thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Peace.